Hi there, this is Dr. Evan Osar with the Institute for Integrative Health and Fitness Education. Welcome to this edition of Facebook Live, week number 2, day number 5, where this week we're covering some of the biggest industry myths that have been perpetuated throughout the years. Even when I started over 20 years ago in the industry, some of these myths, actually most of these myths, these 4 myths, are still being perpetuated today. And part of being a specialist, because that's our mission here at the Institute for Integrative Health and Fitness Education, is to help you develop your ability to be an expert, to be that specialist your general population clients, especially the baby boomers and seniors, need, want, and will seek out to help them accomplish their health and fitness goals. So part of being a specialist, being an expert, is understanding where some of the information that's currently available and being circulated in the industry may not be as accurate as it could be for your clients. And also to help them navigate and decide which information is appropriate for them versus which information may not be so appropriate. So the final of our 4 myths this week is the myth of retracting and depressing the scapula. We've all learned this myth. I learned it from the very first day I started to learn about shoulder problems and started to try to help myself with my own shoulder problems. And we all learned that the shoulders are forward and elevated. Now, what we get taught to do in response to that is to retract and depress. And at the same time, generally, lift the chest up and squeeze down the back of the shoulder blades. I got really good at doing that. I got very strong at scapular retraction and depression. And what happened is my shoulders actually got worse. In fact, I developed rotator cuff tears as well as labral tears. And it took me a long time to figure out why that was. So if we think about the mechanics of the shoulder, real briefly here, is the shoulder blades need to actually go around and up to reach out here and get overhead. Most of our clients, when they reach up overhead or reach out here to do any activity, whether they're doing exercise or just reaching out to do activities of daily living, they're not going around and up, they're going up and over. So they keep going down and depressed. So what our clients don't need more of is scapular depression and retraction. What they need to have is better alignment and control of the scapula or the shoulder blades during their functional activities. So I'm going to demonstrate just a quick example of what this means. We always do an assessment and we always teach our clients to do the soft tissue release to help get their shoulders in the best alignment. The cue we use most frequently is not down and back. It's get your shoulder blades to go wide or your clavicles to widen. So I want them to think as if they're being pulled this direction through the front side of their shoulders. So that way they open the shoulders up and that brings the scapula back into a more optimal position. And then as we teach them, we take them through the corrective exercises which help reestablish alignment and control. And then as we move them through the functional progressions, we teach them how to maintain this position. So here's an example. So when I have a client do a high to low cable row, I'm gonna have them row and maintain that open and wide shoulder position. But again, we've trained that through our corrective exercise process. So as I set the client up, it's always long spine, rib cage stacked above the pelvis, stay open and wide before they ever grab the handle or the resistance. Then they grab the handle, they're still open and wide, they step back, still open and wide. And now they pull the handles towards their shoulders, staying open and wide. And then they release without losing that ability to stay open and wide. They pull wide and release. So that way we're reinforcing that open and wide shoulder position and not excessively teaching clients to retract and depress, which disrupts the normal and optimal biomechanics of the shoulder complex, which leads to neck problems, rotator cuff and labral tears as it did in my own shoulders, and a host of other issues with the neck and thorax. This is Dr. Evan Osar with the Institute for Integrative Health and Fitness Education, sharing with you some of the most common myths in our industry. Now, if you're looking to develop your expertise and really be that go-to resource, we created a special course, the Integrative Corrective Exercise Instructor Program, and that's where we take you through. For those of you that work with the general population, especially the baby boomers and seniors, we take you through the functional anatomy, biomechanics, and motor control. And from there, you develop the most effective assessments, corrective exercise strategies, and functional exercise progressions. So you really address many of these common issues that lead to these myths in the first place. And you leave this program with a strategy for successfully working your clients towards achieving their health and fitness goals, regardless of what their goals are: to move better, to feel better, to look better. Because you're basing your programs now on what we know about how the body works through posture and movement, and then you have a strategy to develop the most optimal, efficient posture movement in your clients. So if you're looking for more information, then click on the link below or associated with this video, and we look forward to seeing you at a training this year. Make it a great day, and we'll see you next week on Facebook Live and hopefully at one of our trainings coming up in the next few months. Take care.